Jai Ho, my dear students. I am Ratnakar Suryamshi from SK Public School. In the last class, we have already completed the first lesson in political science, that is the Indian Constitution. So about that we have learned. So today we will start the second chapter in history section, that is from trade to territory. Company establishes its power, its rule in India. So about this lesson we will start today. Then here, what is the meaning of this lesson or the heading? From trade to territory means what we learn in this lesson, right? Mainly we learn in this lesson about whom? About the British, about the British power, about the British, how British established their control over the territories, over the parts of India. About this we will learn in this chapter, that is from trade to territory. Then why trade came here, right? What was the basic purpose of the arrival of the British to India? Trade. For the purpose of trade, British arrived to India, right? So as they came for the trade purpose, but later how they established their control, how they started their political dominance over the parts or over the territories of India. About that we will learn in this chapter. See, Aurangzeb, you know that you have learned already about Mughals, right? About Mughals you might be learned already. See, Aurangzeb was the last powerful emperor. Aurangzeb was the last powerful emperor of Mughals. And after his death in 1707, after the end of Aurangzeb, after the death of Aurangzeb in 1707, the governors, I mean Subedars we call them. What do we call them? Subedars. Subedars or governors we call. What do we call? Governors. See, the governors or the Subedars who were appointed by the Mughal emperors to the various areas to carry the administration of those territories or areas or regions or parts, who were appointed, Subedars or governors were appointed. But after the death of Aurangzeb in 1707, these Subedars or governors, they declared themselves independent rulers of those areas. They declared themselves as independent rulers of those areas. So in this way what happened? The power of the Mughal Empire began to decline and the power of the regional empires began to increase. I mean regional empires became strong after the decline of Mughal Empire. And in the mid 18th century, when say in the mid 18th century, what happened? See, in the mid 18th century, a new political power arrived to India. A new political power came to India in the mid 17th century, in the mid 18th century, and that power was the British. That political power was the British. So the British arrived to India in the mid 18th century. So how they came to India and what was the purpose? So about this we will learn now. Say, that's why the first topic is the first topic of this lesson is East India Company comes east. What is that topic? East India Company. East India Company comes east. So this is the first topic of the lesson, from trade to territory. See that here in 1600 Common Era, when in 1600 Common Era, what happens in 1600 Common Era, English East India Company. This East India Company is it was English East India Company. In 1600 Common Era, English East India Company acquired a charter, which means acquired a permission. When in 1600 Common Era, English East India Company acquired means got the permission from the Queen of England. From the Queen of England. Then who was the Queen of England during 1600 Common Era in England? That was Elizabeth. Who was that? Who was that? See, the Queen Elizabeth was there. Queen Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth I was there as a Queen of England during the time of 1600. She granted the permission to whom? To the English East India Company. Then what was that permission? She granted the permission that the sole right to trade with the East. What was that permission? The sole right. The sole right to trade with the East. I mean with the eastern countries like India and all, with the eastern countries having trade, starting trade business. That right was given only to whom? That right was granted only to English East India Company, which means no other English companies, no other British companies were allowed to start trade with the eastern countries of the world. Only who got that right? English East India Company. When? In 1600 Common Era. By whom? By the Queen of England. Who was that Queen? Elizabeth I. Then, say here, as I told you that Queen granted here, correct now? Why? Because, but why the Queen granted the sole right? Because that was the time, 1600s, that was the time that various mercantile trading companies, earned their profit because of by excluding competition. Mercantile means what here? See, mercantile means a business company or a business enterprises that makes its profit. That makes its profit by purchasing goods at low rate and selling the same goods at high rate. Through this, the companies used to make income. Those companies are called as mercantile. What are those called? Mercantile companies. So, see, mercantile companies got huge success during the time of 1600. So, that's why English East India Company also thought that if we would start this, we too will get huge amount of prosperity, huge amount of income. So, on that basis, they had started. As to the English East India Company, there was no fear only. There was no fear of competition because it had got sole right. Only one company it was to trade, start trade with eastern countries of the world. And then say the royal charter, as I told you, Queen granted, no, that was called a charter, granting the sole right to trade with the East. So, as I told you that no other companies, no other British companies were allowed to start trade with the East except the English East India Company. So, the other countries of Europe, had started their own trade companies, like French East India Company was started, Dutch East India Company was also started. Why these were started? To start trade with the eastern countries. See, main point is the charter said that sole right to trade with East, that was given to only English East India Company, but which means no other, only British companies were allowed to start trade with the East, but not the other European countries, no. So that's why other European countries started their own companies to establish their trade, to start their trade with the eastern parts of the world. And then see what happened, eastern say, by the time what happened, English ships sailed to the east, I mean English ships were started their journey and they crossed the Cape of Good Hope. They crossed the Cape of Good Hope. Now see, Cape of Good Hope means southern tip of the Africa continent is called the Cape of Good Hope. Once again see, the southern tip, see, it is, you know, the east, west and north and it is south. The southern tip of the Africa continent, the southern edge of the Africa continent is called the Cape of Good Hope. It is called the Cape of Good Hope. Okay, so as I told you, the English ships crossed the southern tip of Africa, that is Cape of Good Hope, then crossed the Indian Ocean and then reached the India. Right? This is what. But before the arrival of British only, India, especially the southeastern coast of India, eastern mainly, see, not eastern, mainly the western coast of India, not east, west it is. Mainly the western coast of India, it was the base of one of the European countries, and that country was Portuguese. Which one? Portuguese. Portuguese already established their control in the western part of India. Their base was there at Goa. Where their base was there at Goa. I mean, their trade, they had started from the base called Goa. But who discovered the sea route to India? The sea route to India was discovered by whom? By the Vasco da Gama. Whom? By the Vasco da Gama. He was the explorer, discoverer of sea route to India, and he was obviously from Portuguese. Right? When he came, after that, Portuguese established their trade with India. And when Vasco da Gama discovered sea route to India in 1498, it was in 1498. In 1498, Vasco da Gama discovered the sea route to India. See, the problem here, what was the problem? See, even say Portuguese also came to India, as well as Dutch too were there in India, as well as French also came to India. Right? Portuguese came, British came, and the Dutch came, and the French came to India to start their trade with India. So this created the important scene in India, I mean important political situation in India. The problem was that all the companies were interested in buying the same thing, same goods in India. I mean, the main problem, the main reason for the competition among these, all the French East India Company, English East India Company, or Dutch East India Company, or the Portugal Great Companies. What was the main problem? They had interest in the purchasing of, in the buying the same goods, same things. Which are those same things? See, cotton, fine quality of cotton and silk. Fine quality of cotton and silk produced in India both had a big demand, great demand in European market. With this, even the pepper as well as the cloves, cardamom as well as cinnamon, these two had a great demand in European markets. I mean, spices of India also had great demand in European markets. So competition amongst these all the European companies inevitably pushed up the prices. I mean, because of the competition among these four companies, what happened? The prices of the things, the prices of the Indian goods increased suddenly. Why? Because demand was increased now. So that's why prices were also increased in a huge amount. So because of the increasement in the price, what happened? Trade companies began to experience loss. Why? Because previously they used to purchase the goods in India at low cost, but now because of the demand, what happened? They had to purchase at high cost. Then how could they earn money? So it became very difficult to them to earn profit. So the urge to secure markets, therefore, they led to fierce battles. I mean, now what they did? Now, to control the markets, all these companies began to fight each other. All the companies began to fight each other through the 17th and 18th centuries. Through the 17th and 18th centuries, see, the fight or the war situations between these companies was increased, and each company against one another, against other ships, they began to sink in the oceans or seas. I mean, while traveling, while sailing the seas, others ships, what they did against each other's ships, they began to sink those. I mean, drown those into the water, into the sea or ocean. Even they were blockaded routes. I mean, they blocked the routes of the ships, and even they prevented the rival ships from moving with supplies of goods. I mean, what they did now, sailing the ships also, they undertook with the help of army, with the security of army. Because to protect their ships and to protect their goods purchased from India to sell them into the European market. And trade was carried, as I told you, with the arms. Trade was carried with the arms, and trading posts were protected through militaries or through the fortification. And even see, this all happened when British tried to establish their trade with India. And see, this effort to fortify settlements and carry on profitable trade also led the intense conflict with the local rulers also. I mean, when British tried to establish their trade with India, at that time the British or other European companies also faced the conflicts, faced the opposition from the local rulers, from the various Indian rulers like Tipu Sultan. It may be first either Tipu Sultan, and then it may be the Queen Channamma or Jhansi Queen, or it may be the Bengal Nawabs, Sirajud-Dowla. By these local rulers also, companies faced what? Opposition when they tried to strengthen their trade in India. And the company therefore found it difficult to separate trade from the politics. Because of the opposition of the local rulers, what happened? The English East India Company felt that it is very difficult to separate the trade from the politics. We have to mix up it. We have to get power in the politics, then only our trade would be in profit. So that's why they tried to control the political situation of India. So about this we will learn in the next class with the second topic, that is English East India Company. English East India Company begins trade in Bengal, where in Bengal for the first time English East India Company established or began its trade. So about that we will learn in the next class. Thank you. Jai Hind.